Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd like to first congratulate Dr. Sai, Balaji, and the softest team. It's my 7th year actually. Time has flown. Where I was, I guess the baby in the softest awards in 2012, and it is now 7 years being part of this association and getting an opportunity to meet, I think, the complete fraternity of UPS and solar veterans. So I think it's, made a lot of friends, and I think this is something I look forward to every year. So I think we have to thank Dr. Sai for giving us this opportunity, and he does this with great enthusiasm. Let's give him a big hand. So, he makes sure that, I think he visits each one of our offices, make sure that we are there in person. I told him, it's now 7 years, I am going to be there. You don't need to come and invite me in person, but he insists. We really appreciate that, Dr. Sai. That, you have created this forum for the industry, and I think it's a great occasion for all of us to get together. I think like Dr. Sai was saying, I feel the industry is at a crossroads today. There are a lot of challenges in front of all of us, and I think we should take this opportunity to see what we can do together as an industry. And taking the cue from Dr. Sai, if you look at GST, I think there are, I would say, a little bit of confusion on what are the GST rates applicable for UPS, for solar, and as an industry, I think we need to get clarity. And I think there are other people in the forum where we would like to form a group to make a representation to the GST Council so that we get clarity on how we go forward on GST rates with respect to UPS, with respect to battery, with respect to solar power systems. So I think so that we don't have any concern about any future issues from the authorities in terms of the rates that we are using. So I think this is a great opportunity. We have a forum, and I think we should look at getting clarity on GST rates. In my mind, yes, UPS in India is an essential product for uninterrupted business operations. So the rates of GST, I think at 18% is itself high. Similarly on batteries at 28%, you're treating that as a luxury item. I don't think in India today still battery can be considered a luxury item. So obviously we need to make a representation to bring down the GST rates and have one common rate, I think, for UPS and battery. And I think that's very important so that there is no fear in our minds, how we take look at GST going forward. So I think let's work as the industry, let's make a common representation to get clarity on GST rates so that we don't have any fear about future liabilities that may happen with respect to the different rates which are being used by different manufacturers within the industry. I think there is the same issue in solar also. There is still little bit of lack of clarity on the rates, and so I think we have to get clarity on 18%, 5%. So what are the rates for billing of solar power systems, for billing solar inverters or PCUs? So I think those are things, I think as an industry, we need to work to get clarity. But if you leave aside GST, my observation, the last 7 years in the industry is that we are facing, I think, hyper competition in the industry. I think every year we talk, margins are shrinking, right? Why is that happening? Everyone will agree UPS is an important element for businesses. So, but why are the margins shrinking? I don't know, anybody, everybody, all of us say margins are under pressure, margins are shrinking. Obvious fact is there is somebody who's willing to offer at a more attractive price or lower price to the customer, right? And I think we have to seriously look at the business model of UPS, which was really based on that you sell the product and then you get service revenue post selling the product.
See, one of the main reasons why prices are dropping is because most of the purchasing is done by government organizations. If you analyze this 6,000 crore business, 80% of the business is coming from government. And L1 is the criteria for decision making. So besides GST, we need to insist that there has to be a combination of selection criteria by the government. L1 cannot be the only criteria for selection.
No, I think that is a valid point. I mean, typically you should have both a technical rating as well as a commercial rating based on which bids need to be evaluated. And the other factor you see is that today customers, especially government, which, over the last 3 years, given that the private consumption is coming down, today almost 65% of new spending in India is happening through government projects. And obviously this issue is becoming a bigger issue, like you highlighted, sir, because of today bulk of the market is driven directly or indirectly by government spending. And there is a huge pressure because of the L1 and sometimes reverse auction which comes into picture. You couple that with the warranty terms which are expected. I think the warranty terms in most government projects talk about 3 years for UPS, and today it is extending to even 5 years, right? Solar, it's been 5 years since MNRE kind of decided out of their wisdom to kind of ask for 5 years, and today they have backtracked that 5 years is not mandatory for solar, but still the industry and the tenders all ask for 5 years. So you tell me, when you are giving 3-year and 5-year warranty, where is the opportunity to make money out of service? Right? So you have to budget for the cost of providing the warranty support. And what's happening to the cost of warranty support today in the market? I mean, are the costs going down or, going up to provide warranty support?
Going up.
Costs are going up. And how do customers look at, assuming that the product is out of warranty? AMC is typically, people look at it as a percentage of the product cost. Now the product costs have come down, so the corresponding AMC revenue also starts coming down, while the cost to support the products are going up. Whether it is the cost of manpower, whether it is the cost of conveyance, where we have to send people to different locations to service the product. And when I look at the industry, I think we are reaching a point of, it is not a sustainable industry anymore. I mean, I think I talk to everyone, in the community here, as well as when I talk to even large companies, multinationals, everyone is today suffering in the market. And when you look at for the same product, the price levels in India are typically 10 to 15% lower than other markets. Because as an industry, we have driven the price down, whether due to this L1 tender, L1 tender issues, or due to competition, we are driving down the prices in the market. And I think there's very few who would say they're happy with the margins that we are making. So I think somewhere as an industry, we will have to address this issue of what is the price that we need to get for the product sale, keeping in mind that future business may or may not be guaranteed. Because of the shrinking AMC revenue, shrinking revenue in terms of battery replacement. So today you have people, even in battery replacement, many of the business goes out of the OEM hands, goes to other people in the industry. I think people will agree. And now with new technologies coming, like lithium batteries, where you get a life of 5 to 15 years. So there's no question of replacement business from those batteries. So I think fundamentally we have to look at, how do we look at pricing in the market? Which means that upfront we have to get some minimum pricing to cover the fact that these products need to be supported. I don't have an answer how do we get to it. And as an industry, I think we have to seriously look at it. I don't know if someone has a point they want to share.
Maybe later.
Yeah, so later we can have a discussion, but I think this is a great forum for us to really debate this. Because believe me, I don't think the industry fundamentals are very strong looking out next 5 years. Yes, there is going to be market growth, but if we compete at these kind of price levels, I don't think anyone is going to be happy. You're not going to have, people looking to come into this business to have a career. I think more people are going out of this industry than who are coming in. So I think this requires a serious debate, why we are in such a situation in the industry. Yes, on the positive side, I think after years we are seeing market growth. There are businesses happening, but unfortunately most of the business is from the government side. And as a company, yes, Consul Award, we have focused more on the higher end products, and that's been good for us in three-phase UPS. We have focused a lot on R&D, investing into developing new products, launching that in the market, and that's helped us carve a space. But in the other product lines where there is hyper competition, we are unable to compete even despite growing in size, and that's not a healthy situation. And so I would say that I feel the industry is at crossroads. Yes, there is potential, there is market growth, but we need to address this issue of prices in the market, the kind of terms customers are asking for. Payment terms, extended payment terms, extended warranty terms, and these are all putting a huge stress on, I think, all of our businesses. And I think somewhere, we have to come together as an industry to, have some informal or formal kind of agreements on how we deal, at least with the terms, if not the price. Because I think having these type of terms and these type of price levels, it is not a sustainable industry, and that is not healthy. We would like to see this association go forward next 15-20 years. But the way I see it is if we don't change now, I think it's going to put huge pressure on a lot of us. And so I think we will take this forum. Maybe we can have some time to have a small debate, if possible, today, if not subsequently. So, that is kind of my view of the state of the industry. And again, I would like to thank Dr. Sai for the opportunity. And it's always great to be here. Look forward to interacting with each one of you today evening. Thank you.